Peace and blessings, you ugly mofos, and welcome to another episode of He Rants. I am your host, Felix, Long Trousers. We got another Reddit reaction. Let's not waste no more time. Let's get right into it.
My wife and I have been married for 5 years, but our relationship began when I was 23 and she was 13. My wife, now...
What? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. What the hell? Wait, that's not funny. That's not funny. That's not funny. Let's continue on. This is crazy.
27, and I, 37, have been married happily for about 5 years, but our relationship began when she was 13 and I was 23. We are still deeply in love with each other and we don't regret the past. Once I graduated from university, I immediately moved overseas to complete my master's and also found a small teaching position at one of the more competitive middle schools in the city where I was studying. I taught English initially and eventually history once I had learned the language well enough. I also tutored on the side so I could have some travel money. For the sake of anonymity, I'll call my wife Lily. During the winter of my first year teaching, she transferred to my English class. Admittedly, she was an adorable kid at the time, yet my feelings for her were limited to the admiration a teacher naturally has for their students. One day towards the end of the school year, Lily and her mother came and found me after school to ask if I could tutor Lily privately. As I needed the money and Lily was so fun to teach, I accepted and we began classes that summer. Over the next year I seemed to become a part of the family. Besides simply tutoring Lily, they would invite me out to dinners, short outings around the city, and so on. At first it was overwhelming and I tried to politely decline their invitations as it seemed to surpass what would be appropriate under most circumstances, but they were relentless. Her parents' trust in me became almost absolute. I must have been charismatic at that age, because I made no conscious effort to appease them. They would occasionally be absent during our lessons, so Lily and I spent a fair amount of time alone. We would mostly stick to the material I prepared, but sometimes we would both get bored with it and talk casually. Naturally, we became close and comfortable with one another. Months went by and I started feeling a strong connection with her. We bonded over many things: paintings, music, novels and attitudes towards life. Her entire outlook was well beyond her age. At first, I told myself it was a sort of elderly brother's care that I was feeling or a fatherly instinct, but I was clearly in denial that I could be attracted to someone so young. One evening, we got on the topic of cooking and it turned out she had never learned to cook anything before. So, I thought it would be a great opportunity to teach her vocabulary for a new setting. We went into the kitchen and I taught her to make scrambled eggs. She was doing a poor job of stirring, so I tried to take the spatula away from her, but she insisted on doing it herself, so I stood behind her and guided her hand in the proper motion. Then...
Are y'all peeping the parents were trying to force this guy to teach her? Was he really that good of a teacher, son? And then just to leave him alone with her on the day. I get it because it's tutoring maybe, but at least be in the vicinity, right? I'm hoping that I'm hoping I'm never that busy, son, that I'll just be able to leave a dude, tutor or not, with my child, and I just be God knows where, son. It almost feel like they went out running errands. I'm like, oh, the tutor's here? Okay, well, he's here, and I'm going to leave my 13-year-old daughter. It's not like there's a possibility that he could be a pedo, right? Ain't no way he could possibly touch my daughter, right? Because pedos usually don't have a freaking sign on the top of their head saying that, oh, I'm not a pedo. I know right now he's trying to say that he's not a pedo and all that stuff, and oh, I wasn't expecting to fall in love with a 13-year-old, but okay. All right, let's keep going though.
Spatula still in hand, and for no reason other than that we were particularly close to each other, she turned around in my arms and kissed me deeply. I was too shocked to do anything and just accepted it. We stood like that for a few more seconds, kissing slowly, then I came to and pulled away. She immediately began apologizing as apparently I had a very concerned look on my face. I remember saying some nonsense about student-teacher relationships and that I was too old for her, or she would meet someone her own age soon, but to my surprise I had enjoyed it very much despite simultaneously feeling very guilty about the whole thing. I told myself I should have kept our relationship more professional, but looking back, I don't think anyone can really say there was anything unhealthy about it. Going against my instincts, I brought myself...
What? What? Bro, what? Looking back, I don't think there was anything unhealthy about it. Hey, yo, I'm weak. Let's dog. This is funny, but it's not funny.
About it. Going against my instincts, I brought myself to acknowledge my feelings for her. At our next lesson I told her that I was in fact attracted to her and willing to see if we could get away with it. At the same time, I remember considering why society looks down on the whole thing, and I agreed with that concerning principle. Someone of that age is too easy to manipulate and can often be too scared to speak up when they feel uncomfortable. I didn't want to harm her and knew that in having a relationship with her, the risk was high. So I told her that she had complete power over where things went. If at any moment she wanted out, all she had to do was tell me. Now, let me say that before her, almost all of my previous relationships had been with older women and I had never been attracted to anyone underage before, needless to say a middle school girl.
There it is. The old I've always messed with older women trick, eh? This is the first time, eh? Hey, Chris Hansen has heard it all right? Every time somebody gets caught up, yeah, I never done this. This is the first time I done. Yeah, it's just the first time, right? Okay, all right, buddy. All right, if that's what you're trying to sell, I'm telling you this, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, chum. All right, you're lucky you're staying anonymous, or I would definitely call, I don't know, the police, right? I feel like there's a special unit for you type of guys. Is it SVU? I'll be watching Law and Order SVU. Is it SVU? Is that who we call? I feel like SVU would definitely Elliot and the boys and the other girl. Let's get back into this.
I know that when I fell in love with her, it wasn't just some perverted fetish. I really adored her for who she was. The lessons continued as before, but after a while we would take advantage of the time alone to fool around a bit. She went on to high school. Then once she was
No, son, that was bro. This nigga said, yeah, she went off to high school. You just said that so casual, like you're not a grown ass man. Bro, hey, if that doesn't remind you how young she is, bro, this is crazy. Let's keep going.
in college, we started openly dating. Finally, we married soon after she had finished university. Since then, we have both been successful in our careers. I am a professor and she's currently getting her doctorate. There are only a few people in our social circle who know our relationship started that early, and to my surprise, most of them haven't anything negative to say about it. But at the same time, I know that if most people knew about it, we, and I especially, would be looked down upon.
Tell me their names, because those friends are now officially accomplices. If you talking about something, they know about this, and they just like they have no negative things to do. So that means they swim in the same pattern, bruh. You have a whole organization of pedos working together. The International Collection of Pedo Tutors. This is diabolical. This is scary. I'm not letting my daughter out of my sight. Let's keep going.
Most people knew about it. We, and I especially, would be looked down upon. I don't feel guilty, but I am bothered that we have to lie or feel embarrassed about our history because really, we both find it very romantic. I would never encourage people to actively seek these kinds of relationships, and I think pedophilia is a serious mental illness. Anyone who intentionally preys on children should be apprehended. But in cases like ours, people need to be reminded that there are gray areas out there, and what our judgment comes down to should ultimately be the way people treat each other. I really want to know what people think about a relationship like ours. Whether you want to criticize or support us, please explain why you feel the way you do and what moral framework you are coming from. I am also willing to answer serious questions. Thank you for reading.
Okay, guys. Well, he was able to finesse the whole, finesse it. Nobody snitched, I guess. Everything worked out well for him. And now they're married. They've been married, what, we said, 5 years and stuff. This is diabolical, though, guys. This is very diabolical. Wasn't there this actor that did something like this, or producer or something like that he had like an Asian daughter that he adopted, and then he ended up like marrying her when she got of age, so leads me to believe that he was definitely doing some stuff to her. Was it Woody Allen or something like that? I'm not sure exactly what his name is, but it's really some crazy stuff going on out here, guys, and I want you guys to keep your eyes open. Because there's a lot of guys that you thinking won't be able to do it. This guy's trying to make all the excuses. He's saying, oh, there's gray areas. Maybe there's gray. Maybe because I can't process this. Maybe that's why I'm saying there's no gray area. Because I feel like at the end of the day, son, you went after a 13-year-old child, right? Even if she did pursue you, you got pursued and, I don't know, put in place by a 13-year-old child, man. She was able to get you aroused. She was able to seduce you. You got seduced by a 13-year-old child. Really think about that. You got seduced by, as a 23, 24-year-old man, you got seduced by a 13-year-old child. Son, what? Oh, strippers will love you. Strippers will love you. Come on, man. This is a joke, man. But hey, that's all I got to say on this, guys. Let's just end the video right here.